Welcome everyone to Live Interactive English. I am Shane.
And I am Karen. Today we are looking at day 1 of Father's Day, a special day for dads everywhere. I love Father's Day.
Do you love Father's Day?
I do, but I think a lot of people, they don't value Father's Day as much.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Mother's Day is a bigger deal than Father's Day, and more people
tend to celebrate
it.
You have a bigger celebration.
A bigger celebration, right. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think maybe back in the days, a lot of women were stay-at-home moms, so they had more time to spend with their kids. And I'm talking about like back in the days. And then I think the role of the men were to go out and, you know, get a job and make money.
They weren't home very much.
Exactly. So I think the children and the mothers, they have a stronger bond. Maybe that's why people have a bigger celebration for Mother's Day.
Different theory. My theory is that, like, it's easy to buy gifts for women because you can buy like chocolates or you can buy flowers. And especially flowers is something you give on Mother's Day. Like on Father's Day, what can you really give him? It's a small gift, right?
It's so hard to buy a present for fathers, right?
And also talking about what you're saying, I mean, back in the day, like, why not, you know, the father isn't home very much, and maybe he was the one out earning all of the money for the home. I would think that you would really want to celebrate because you don't see him as often, and he is the breadwinner. So, but who knows? But I think generally it is true. But I think that's just because it's easy to give like sweet little things to a mom.
That's true. Because women, I think it's really easy to be satisfied with little gifts, right?
That's right. Okay, why don't we get into today's lesson?
All right.
Father's Day is a day to celebrate and thank fathers. People give gifts, write cards, and spend time with their dads. But where did this tradition come from, and how is it observed today? Father's Day started in the U.S. in 1910, when Sonora Smart Dodd wanted to honor her father. He was a single parent who raised 6 children. She thought fathers deserved a special day, just like Mother's Day.
So today we are looking at day 1 of Father's Day, a special day for dads everywhere.
I'm a dad.
Are you a dad?
I have 3 cats.
That's true. Then you are a dad.
But they never give me any gifts.
Well, they give you their love.
Well, one of them peed on a pillow.
Okay.
The other day. At least it wasn't on Father's Day, but I guess that was a little gift for me, you know? Okay, let's begin.
Okay.
Father's Day is a day to celebrate and thank fathers. People give gifts, write cards, and spend time with their dads.
Aww, that's really, really important.
It is really important.
When the dads really, spend the time and effort to take care of the kids, right?
Yeah.
But where did this tradition come from? And how is it observed today? Now, to observe, it has many different meanings. Usually, when we say to observe means to notice something or seeing something or, remarked or commented on something. But it can also mean watch closely or made a careful observation of. But right here, we're talking about observing a holiday.
Yeah.
So that's actually to celebrate or honor in a special way. Right. So for example, you can say, the holiday is usually observed with special meals. So this is how it's usually celebrated.
Okay. Let's go to Hanny.
All right.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这2天的课程是关于父亲节。父亲节是庆祝和感谢父亲的日子，大家可能会送礼物啊、写卡片，或者是花时间陪伴爸爸。那我们就来看看这个传统是怎么来的，那现在又是如何庆祝的。好，单字 observe 这个动词它有观察的意思。那在课文里面它是表达庆祝节日，而文中它用到 spend time with somebody， 这是表达花时间与某人在一起。好，接回课文中。
Okay, we're back. Father's Day started in the US in 1910 when Sonora's smart Dodd wanted to honor her father. Now, to honor someone is to show respect or give special recognition to someone. Or it could be something too, right? So for example, I want to honor my parents for all their support.
Aw, it's very sweet.
Especially my dad.
Okay. And now back to the article. He was a single parent who raised 6 children. She thought fathers deserved a special day, just like Mother's Day. Okay, so Father's Day came after Mother's Day, right? After people started celebrating. So then people started thinking about, okay, Father's Day. Also, Father's Day deserve a special day too.
Well, kind of makes sense, right? If there's a Mother's Day, there should be a Father's Day.
They're
right?
equally important.
They do deserve it.
That's right. So what does it mean when I say to deserve something? Okay, so that's a verb. So it just means to have earned or to be given something because of the way you have behaved or the qualities you have. Okay, well, let's go to Hanny first.
父亲节的起源是起源于1910年的美国。当时 Sonora Smart Dodd 他想要向他的父亲致敬。他的父亲是一位抚养6个孩子的单亲爸爸。那他认为父亲应该享有跟母亲节一样的特殊节日。好，我们看单字 honor。Honor 这个动词表示向什么致敬或是公开表彰 ，deserve 这个动词则表示应得、值得或者是应受到什么什么。那我们接着回到课文中。
So, speaking of observing, like Father's Day, is your father still with us?
No, actually, my father unfortunately passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, so I don't get to celebrate Mother's Day because my mother passed away. But I'm always so careful about wishing all of my aunts and friends that I know that are mothers and to let them know. So on Father's Day, is there anybody you will give a special thanks to? Like perhaps your husband?
Oh, that's right.
He's a father.
Yes, so we do celebrate Father's Day, my little family right now. So we go out for a special dinner to celebrate and to thank him for everything that he has done for the family. And my daughter would usually draw a beautiful card.
Oh, she'll draw it by hand.
Yeah, that's right. So actually this year she started learning how to use the computer. So she used the computer to make a special card for her dad. So I think that was really, really sweet.
Oh, that's a nice way to celebrate. A nice card. And do you get your husband a card?
Well, I treated him to dinner.
Oh, so you treat.
That's right.
Okay, that's great.
We always go out for like a nice meal, you know, just to be grateful and to show your appreciation. I think it's really important, right?
Right. Okay, why don't we go to the second part of the article and we'll be right back.
All right.
As a result, Father's Day in the US came to be celebrated on the 3rd Sunday of June, as June was the birth month of Dodd's father. Many decades later, in 1972, Father's Day became an official holiday in the US. However, Father's Day isn't the same everywhere. In Taiwan, for example, Father's Day began in memory of those who lost their lives during World War II. In the end, August 8th was chosen because double eights sounds similar to Baba, which means father in Chinese.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So before the break, we found out that Sonora had a father who was a single parent.
That's right.
And all the way back in 1910, there was already Mother's Day, but she was thinking, you know what? He does all the work. He's like a mother.
Exactly.
And he is a father. And there's no special day to celebrate fathers.
And to honor her father.
And to honor her father, and not only her father, but fathers all around the United States.
Exactly.
So in 1910, she basically was the one who came up with this idea to start celebrating Father's Day. Which is cool.
Okay, well, let's continue with the article. As a result, Father's Day in the US came to be celebrated on the third Sunday of June, as June was the birth month of Dot's father.
That's so interesting. So there is a reason.
Why.
There is a reason.
Exactly. And then, actually in Canada, we also celebrate Father's Day on the third Sunday of June as well. So it's the same as the US.
Oh, so you guys copied us. That's okay. You're allowed to copy us.
Well, I guess it's easy to remember now, the third Sunday of June, right?
Right. Okay. So basically in North America.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. All right. So many decades later, in 1972, Father's Day became an official holiday in the US. So it wasn't until 1972. This was just sort of like, you could celebrate it if you wanted, but it wasn't official.
That's right.
So it became official in 1972. And they say many decades later. A decade just means 10 years.
That's right.
So how many decades is 80 years?
8 decades.
Good job. You seem a little bit unsure of yourself, which makes me doubt
Hey, you can't just give me math questions like that.
It was a simple one, and you did get it, okay? So a decade is 10 years. So you, for example, could say, over a decade has passed since the end of the war. So that means it's been 10 years since the war ended.
That's right. Okay, so you said it wasn't unofficial until 1972.
Right.
So official, that's an adjective. Official means something is approved or recognized by someone in charge, maybe like the government or like a sports referee. It can also describe a person who has a job that makes them in charge of something. For example, you can say an official statement was made by the police.
Oh,
okay, so people really started celebrating. It became official in 1972. I think a lot of people started celebrating Father's Day all together, right?
And that's when people started to make money.
That's true. Well, you don't really have to spend a lot of money to celebrate Father's Day.
Yeah, but when there's a day and you're supposed to celebrate it, that means you're supposed to go out and spend money. So that's why you'll see a lot of advertisements for Father's Day and like gifts that you could give to your father. Same for Mother's Day.
That's right.
Okay, why don't we go to Hanny and we'll be right back.
刚刚说 Sonora Smart Dot 他想要向他的父亲致敬，他认为父亲应该享有跟母亲节一样的特殊节日。于是呢，美国的父亲节就开始在6月的第3个星期日庆祝。这是因为6月是 Sonora Smart Dot 他父亲的生日月份。几十年后，在1972年，父亲节就成为美国的国定假日了。好，单字 decade 当名词是指10年 ，official 当形容词形容官方的正式的。Official holiday 就可以表达国定假日。那补充一下 official 还可以当名词来指官员、要员。我们在讲体育赛事的时候啊，这个字其实还可以表达像那种担任裁判工作的人员。这时候 Karen 老师有用到 referee 这个字 ，R-E-F-E-R-E-E，referee 表示裁判。好，那这边有2个重点。第一个重点是副词片语 as a result， 它表示因此、结果，可以放在句首或句尾，意思就类似 consequently 或是 therefore。我们把它摆在句首的时候，要加逗号跟主要子句隔开。例如 Frank had been under a lot of stress at work, and as a result, he became ill. Frank 工作压力很大，结果他生病了。补充一个用法是 as a result 后面可以接 of 加名词或动名词来表达因为什么、由于什么。像 Frank became ill as a result of stress at work， 就是说 Frank 因为工作压力而生病。第2个重点是要介绍 come to 加动词，这是表达经过一段时间开始怎么样，逐渐变成怎么样。例如 Her parents didn't like the dog at first.But they eventually came to consider it part of the family. 一开始他爸妈不喜欢那只狗，但最后啊，他们逐渐把它视为家庭的一份子。好，这话课文中。
So let's continue with the article. However, Father's Day isn't the same everywhere. In Taiwan, for example, Father's Day began in memory of those who lost their lives during World War II. That's right, because I know, I'm sure you do too, that we don't celebrate Father's Day on the third Sunday of June in Taiwan.
Absolutely not. No.
It's a different day. So when is it?
But it began in memory of those who lost their lives during World War II.
That's right.
We'll say like in the 40s or something like that. Right, okay. In the end, August 8th was chosen because double eights sounds similar to Baba, which means father in Chinese.
And that makes it very, very easy to remember for everyone, right?
Yeah, so I actually end up getting a lot of grief from my father because I don't hear any advertisements for Father's Day, and I don't really use social media a lot, so I don't know Father's Day is coming up. And since it's the third Sunday of the month, it's not just like one day.
Exactly.
Like that I could just remember. I have to remember it's the third Sunday, so often I will forget, and then later I will say, Dad, hey, sorry. And he's like, well, don't they celebrate it the same day? I said, no, it's a completely different day. And he thinks, oh, that idea is kind of cool.
But do you celebrate it or do you wish him happy Father's Day on August 8th?
Well, I don't, no. Because I usually, even if I'm late, I'll still remember to tell him in the third Sunday of June. Right? Okay. All right, so similar is an adjective. Means something that is almost the same or has many things in common with something else. So for example, the houses on this street have similar designs.
Okay, well, let's go to Henny first.
Okay.
课文提到世界各地的父亲节并不相同，例如在台湾，父亲节开始是为了纪念那些在第二次世界大战中丧生的人，那么最终是选定8月8号，因为88的发音跟爸爸相似。好 ，similar 这个形容词就是表达类似的、相似的，后面常常会接 to 加名词来表达和什么相似。那刚刚说到纪念，文中就用到 in memory of somebody， 这是表达为了纪念某人，这是用来对已故之人表达纪念或追思。例如 ，He wrote a song in memory of his late aunt。他写了一首歌纪念他已故的姑姑。比较一个用法是 in honor of somebody， 表示向什么什么致敬，为了表彰、庆祝点点点。这是用于对某人或者有可能是已故之人来表达尊敬啊、表彰或赞扬。那它还可以用来表达庆祝某事件。例如 ，They built a statue in honor of the general。他们建了一座雕像纪念那一位将军。好，接回课文中。
Okay, so we learned a little bit of history about Father's Day and how it got started in the US, right?
Yes.
And when we celebrate it in Taiwan. So I think that's actually quite interesting. But the most important thing is that we have this special day to celebrate, fathers, right?
Yeah.
And for all the hard work and all the great love that they give us.
That's right. Okay, so let's review the article again, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Father's Day is a day to celebrate and thank fathers. People give gifts, write cards, and spend time with their dads. But where did this tradition come from, and how is it observed today? Father's Day started in the U.S. in 1910, when Sonora Smart Dodd wanted to honor her father. He was a single parent who raised 6 children. She thought fathers deserved a special day, just like Mother's Day. As a result, Father's Day in the U.S. came to be celebrated on the third Sunday of June, as June was the birth month of Dodd's father. Many decades later, in 1972, Father's Day became an official holiday in the U.S. However, Father's Day isn't the same everywhere. In Taiwan, for example, Father's Day began in memory of those who lost their lives during World War II. In the end, August 8th was chosen because double eights sound similar to Baba, which means father in Chinese.
最后我们来复习今天课文里的单字文法。单字的部分有 observe， 它当动词可以表达观察，那在课文里面当庆祝节日的意思。 第二个，我们学到 honor 是动词，表示向什么致敬、公开表彰。那么第三个学到 decade 是10年，它是名词。那么 official 这个形容词则是表达官方的、正式的。还学到 similar， 这是形容词，形容类似的、相似的。再看到文法的部分，我们第一个学到副词片语 as a result， 表示因此、结果，可以摆在句首或句尾。摆在句首的话，记得要加逗号跟主要子句隔开。第二个学到 come to 加动词，是表达经过一段时间后开始怎么样，逐渐变成怎么样。第三个学到 in memory of somebody， 是表达为了纪念某人，用来对已故之人表达纪念或是追思。好，那以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Oh, I'm so excited for my cake.
Well, I thought you're vegan.
I'm ovo-lacto-vegetarian.
Ovo what?
You don't know what that means?
No.
Let me explain. Today, we are going to talk about different types of dietary restrictions.
Now, most of us eat things like meat, so chicken, beef, and we also eat seafood like fish and shrimp, and we have eggs, dairy, and last but not least, vegetables. But Kiki says she's octo-lavo-vegetarian, which means she doesn't eat octopuses.
No, you're not even close. Ovo-lacto.
Okay.
Ovo meaning eggs and lacto meaning dairy. So even though I'm vegetarian, I am able to eat eggs and have cheese or drink milk. Yes.
Okay, so, but
I don't eat meat.
Okay, so she's definitely not vegan, which means she doesn't eat anything that has been produced or came from an animal. So no animal byproducts, no living things like eggs, dairy, meat, obviously, and also even honey. Honey comes from bees.
Yeah.
And then we also have pescatarian, which I used to be a pescatarian. So that means I don't eat meat. I didn't eat meat, but I did eat things like Nemo.
No.
Oh, sorry.
You can't eat Nemo, that's poisonous.
Okay.
But you would eat shellfish?
Yeah, shellfish. So shrimp, crab,
Jellyfish.
Oh, jellyfish, yeah. And yeah, so things like that. But there are a lot of different reasons as to why people would have different, dietary restrictions. Religious reasons, health reasons, maybe even environmental reasons. And maybe you just want to try it. So there's all these different types of diets you can try.
Well, even though Winnie and I follow different diets, I'm just happy that I can share my honey cake with you, Winnie.
Oh, thanks. Anyway, remember to follow us on Instagram and leave us a DM or email us if you have something you want to say in English and you just don't know how. Kiki, do you have anything you want to say?
Yes. Give me my honey cake.
No,
No, stop.